Fires at pro-life buildings, graffiti on Catholic churches, masses interrupted, and protests outside of Supreme Court justices' homes. The fallout continues after a leaked draft opinion showing the U.S. Supreme Court may intend to overturn Roe v. Wade. Capitol Hill correspondent Erik Rosales has more.
The Supreme Court met today for the first time behind closed doors after a leaked draft mentioned overturning Roe became public. Most lawmakers are outraged over the protests taking place outside of justices' homes and the defacing of Catholic churches. However, Democratic leadership is sending out mixed messages about these protests.
If protests are peaceful, yes. My house there's protests 3-4 times a week outside my house. That's the American way to peacefully protest is okay.
I think it's reprehensible. Stay away from the homes and families of elected officials and members of the court. You can express yourself, exercise your First Amendment rights, but to go after them in their homes, to do anything of a threatening nature and certainly anything violent is absolutely reprehensible.
Republicans agree and want the Justice Department to step in. Governors Glenn Youngkin of Virginia and Larry Hogan of Maryland have asked Attorney General Merrick Garland to enforce existing laws prohibiting protests at the homes of judges. They wrote in part, quote, "It is in your hands to ensure that applicable federal laws enforced to preserve the integrity of our American judicial system and the safety of our citizens." Republicans I spoke to all favor more security for Supreme Court justices. Some fear protests could trickle down to lower court judges.
This is going down the path where we may have to have the same discussion with circuit court judges and district court judges. Now I think we're going to have to deal with it, and I fully support any additional security.
Even churches aren't safe from protests. Last weekend, demonstrators interrupted masses and defaced churches. The U.S. Conference of Catholic Bishops has said, quote, "At least 129 incidents have occurred across 35 states in the last 2 years. Texas Congressman Michael Cloud and others want the Attorney General to declare these attacks as, quote, hate crimes and investigated and prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law.
Yeah, there's nothing peaceful about somebody going into a church and yelling and trying to disrupt the proceedings. It's a house of worship, and the fact that people don't respect other people's expression of religious freedom is against America's core beliefs.
Planned Parenthood is planning nationwide protests across the country this weekend, including right here in Washington, D.C., so Catholic churches remain on high alert. At the Capitol, Erik Rosales, EWTN News Nightly.